left the game late. What happened to him there?
Yeah, he got hit on the elbow. I think that seems like initial tests are that he'll be okay. A little bit of a bruise. We'll get some more tests, but preseason football, it's like, hey, Will gets in there, and hats off to Will. I mean, did a hell of a job, and but I think Joe's going to be okay.
Overall, that start, how difficult was it? Just Joe struggled at the start and defense. How difficult was it?
Yeah, it's definitely not a storybook beginning. That's for sure. We just struggled, and I think it was 25 plays to 6 or something at one point, and that's obviously not a great way to start. They converted some fourth downs, and they controlled the ball. We had the 3 and outs. I think Joe was throwing some fastballs out there early, and I'm proud of our guys the way they settled down, but certainly not the right way to start the game. And that's what you do in preseason, man. You learn from it. And I told the guys, hey, we competed hard. But we got to clean some stuff up. We can't have the penalties, 11 penalties or whatever that was. And at the end of the day, it's like we put ourselves in a chance in the second half to maybe make a run, and we just couldn't gain the momentum. When we scored, we kind of gave up a touchdown, and we got to play better complementary football.
Clarence Hill, DLLS Cowboys. Just talk about your first time out. I know it's not the real game. It's preseason. It's still your first time head coach. Jerry said some stuff on the radio about you guys shared a moment.
Yeah, we did. I got a little bit choked up coming to the stadium, and then when Jerry and I talked a little bit, I'll be honest, I got a little emotional. It's been a dream of mine to be in this chair, and he and I were just talking about our journeys, and we were telling some stories. And he's obviously been in a long time. I've been in a long time. It was just the two of us, and I'm very appreciative of him and the Jones family for having me in this chair. And like I've told you guys from the beginning, no one's going to work harder than me, and we're going to go look at this film and try to clean it up. And I think we've got some good film to look at from an evaluation standpoint. But at the end of the day, I'll remember this day for a long time. It's not the result that we wanted, but first time out there as a head coach, it felt pretty cool.
It's been cleaning up things. I don't know if you need to clean up 88 on where he's supposed to stand. You talked to him about that, and
yeah.
Very moment because he could have got hurt.
Yeah, briefly. Again, I'll speak to the whole discipline part, just like the pre-snap penalties, that penalty. We got to be better with discipline, and I think I hope the guy's okay. I think he's okay. The official that they ran into, but we have to be better than that. CD knows better, we know better, but the discipline on our part, we're fine with the combative penalties, but when we don't line up off sides, they warned us a couple times, and we have to do a better job, coaching and playing, and hey, move up tackles. I think Awesome got called twice, and you can't give away penalties in this league, and so we have to be better.
Brian talks with ESPN, the operation of things, how to being on the sideline, having Luce down there, how did all that stuff go for the first time?
I think it went good. Threw my first challenge flag ever. That was kind of cool. They told me I threw a nice one. The reason we challenged that was it was fourth down. It was a big play. I mean, it was down inside the 10-yard line, like a 40-yard bomb, and we did think that the ball moved a little bit, and they admitted that it moved, but they did think that he maintained the catch. But I thought in that situation it was worth it just because it was fourth down. We're about to get the ball at midfield, and but overall, I mean, I thought the communication was good. We played some of these situations like a real game because I needed to work those situations with my staff and decision-making and things like that. And then there were other ones that we played like preseason. There's a few times we probably would have onside kicked and done things like that. That last situation we scored, I told Flus, let's play this like 4 minute. We were down 10 points and wanted to see us get a stop. And, again, we were great. Really, I think we gave up 2 point something in the first half run defense-wise. And then the second half, we just kind of didn't tackle very well. And I think it was quorum that was going off on us. But overall, I thought a lot of things to learn from, a lot of things that came up for me. But I thought the communication for the most part between myself and the staff, Falus, Nick Sorensen, was good.
Was one of those situations end of half where preseason maybe you go for it there, but you kick the field goal just to play it out what you would in a game?
Yeah, I mean, we were struggling to move the ball. We had limited ops. I knew we were getting the ball first, to start the second half. And so, you can say let Joe throw it there, but, I wanted to play a little bit more close to the vest like a real game. And, hey, let's take the points. And, I felt really good about, coming out in the second half, and so that's kind of why we made that decision.
My last one for you. On Joe, you talked about make the simple play, find a check down. The pick there in that first drive, was that a situation where don't force it, just live for another day, or how do you?
Yeah, again, 2nd and 4. He's got a check down in front of him, ultra competitive. He's moving left, and, threw it up there. Now, Flo's, he's trusting Flo in that situation to try to make a play. But I think that's one of the things that when Joe watches it, he'll be like, yeah, I probably should have taken the check down. I got moved off the launch point. And, again, that's why he needs to play. And I do think he settled down. I think he found his rhythm late, started using his legs a little bit better. And, again, terrific talent that every rep he gets is going to help him become a great pro.
John Schottemhiemer with the Athletic. What was the decision with Booker and I guess, Sadiq Charles gets hurt too? Is that part of it, that you just are trying to keep the offensive line as healthy as possible?
No, I mean, again, John, it's there's 3 games for us. And so we had a specific plan going into this game of who we wanted to play, and there'll be some more guys that play next week. Not going to tell you who, but it was more about, just, hey, this was the rotation we wanted to get this week, and we had a pitch count. A lot of our guys on offense had to play longer than we wanted because we only had the 6 plays. And so, next week's going to look a little bit different, and you'll see some more guys playing next week because that's been part of the plan all along. I'm hopeful that we dodged a bullet with Sadiq. We'll do some more tests, but, it was a physical game, and I think we came out of it okay, hopefully, with some of the tests and stuff that we've run on most of our guys.
And then was there anything about the game that you really liked?
I like the way we battled in the second half. I mean, I think, we could have, not come out and got physical, run the football. I thought Phil Maffa ran really hard. I thought that was good. I loved the defense in the first half in terms of the run stoppage. We just got to get off the field on 4th down. I mean, that's the thing in preseason too. People are going to go for it. But I told the guys, I said, hey, look, they competed hard, but it's not about competing. It's about execution. And when we watch the film, we're going to see there's a lot of opportunities where we did not execute very well, and that's coaching and playing alike, not just the players.
The here at Sports Star Telegram, Israel McQuamu had the splash interception, pretty athletic play to reach back and make that kind of play. Obviously, it's a highly contested battle there at slot corner. How much do you factor in splash plays like that versus the whole body of work, or is it all kind of tied in?
Yeah, good question. I mean, it's the whole body of work. It was an awesome play. I'm happy for him. He works so hard. I mean, he really does, and it was an incredible play. And I think it was after we threw the pick, right? I think we threw the pick, and then he got the ball back for us. But, it's going to be the entire camp. It's not just going to be preseason. It's going to be every day at practice. And, again, we'll move our depth chart around some, after this game and looking into next week, getting ready for Baltimore.
And Malik Davis, he was on the street 36 hours ago and had a great second half. What can you say about it?
Can't say enough. I mean, kudos to Will and the scouting staff for finding him, and it was great to see him yesterday. I ran right over and gave him a big hug. His run skills are obviously incredible, and just speaks to the young man that he's been in shape, he's been waiting, he's had a couple tryouts with people, and they didn't sign him, and so we were able to get him back. But we were a little worried going into the game with the depth at running back. We obviously didn't have to play Crop at running back, but yeah, give Malik his due. He had a hell of a day.
Cowboys.com. Brian, what are you hoping that Joe kind of takes from this experience and maybe changes come next week?
I don't think that we need to throw more completions. He knows that. I think, he had his fastball out today, and there's times that you got to kind of throw a little bit of a change up. He wants the double move in the red zone back. I think that was Flo, who ran it, that we missed that one right before the half, and then he kind of sailed one a little bit high, but it's all part of playing to Flo. He hit Flo, so I think it was Flo maybe on both of them, but part of staying in rhythm and part of me and Joe being on the same page, because I'm the play caller, is just executing the offense, taking things when it's not there, when you get moved off the spot, check it down. But what a great learning experience for Joe. I mean, guy hasn't played a ton of football in real situations like this where he's getting hit, and I'm not sure I loved him running the guy over on the sidelines, but I think that kind of woke him up a little bit, got him going, and I'm still learning him as well in terms of his play style.
Brian, rookie Trayshawn Holden came in the game late, had a big play down the right sideline. Kind of what have you seen
Every day. He shows up every day, Garrett. I mean, he really does. Every day he makes a play, and we kind of saw that they were playing some cloud to that side, some cover two, and Joe made a beautiful throw into the hole shot. And Trayshawn's done that every day in practice, literally every day. There's been one or two big plays, and when you do that, you get noticed, and when you do that, you get more opportunities. And I'm just proud of him. And again, he's a guy that's you'll see him, moving up the depth chart.
Hey, Coach Patrick over at DallasCowboys.com. A couple of questions. First, on the defensive side of the ball. First half, obviously, you guys had some struggles, but bright spot. Maris Leopold came out with his hair on fire. Can you just talk about where he is in his process going into year two?
Yeah, I think, he's been incredible this whole time, Patrick, in camp. And, again, just the physical nature that he plays with. And, again, another guy that you love the play style, man. And that's, he's a guy that he brings his pads. He carries his pads well. He's an excellent tackler. But I can't say enough good things about him. I mean, this guy just loves playing football. He loves what he does. He's a kind of a throwback almost as a linebacker. He really is. He's a throwback, just gritty. And I'm not surprised he played well. He's been working so hard to get to this point, and learned a lot last year, and playing with a lot of confidence right now.
On the offensive side of the ball, highly contested wide receiver battle as far as the bottom half of that depth chart. A name that's not getting mentioned a lot, but put a lot of good on film out there, Ryan Flanoy. Can you talk about what you saw from him, separation, route running, things of that nature?
Yeah, I thought, again, he was ripping across the field on the deep cross. I think he was the one that ran the double move in the red zone. It was him, yeah. I mean, he's learning to, change up some of his releases and things like that, which you love, but strong hands and really good with the ball in his hand. He's the guy who broke the tackle on the boundary, right? That was really cool to see. And, another one of those small school guys that you just, they kind of, their confidence, you see their confidence start to blossom when you get going. And the more they play, the more you're like, okay, I see it coming together for them. So the big thing for that battle that we talked about is going to be the special teams. And you got to have value on special teams when you're sitting in that spot, and that's why I can't wait to watch that film.
Hey, Coach. Mike here, Matthew, Kobe City Observer. So you guys were able to get a scrimmage in there and practice in with the Rams and then play today. With you being a first-time coach, what are some things that you can learn from, Sean McVay, someone who has been successful in this league? Yeah,
Sean's been great with me. Sean and I have a lot of respect for each other. We were in the same division for a while when I was in Seattle, and we both have family members that were elite and great at what they did in the football world, in the NFL. So I think that there's just a mutual respect there. But he and I spoke a ton about the practices leading up to the practices, and he gave me some great advice. And leaning on him in a lot of areas because here's a guy that he's a excellent head coach, but he's a play caller, and so just different things. Hey, how do you schedule your week, and when do you do this, and when do you do that? And he's been so open, and very, very appreciative of him, and how he's kind of opened his experience to share with me. It's much appreciated.
Anybody else? Good. Tom? Sorry, real quick. Just I know small sample size, but Will Greer coming in late there. What did you think of what he put out?
Just it's what Will's done. I mean, again, I didn't know he was that fast. I know when he broke through, I was like, okay, this will be a 2 or 3 yard gain. Next thing you know, the guy's running in the end zone. But the first couple plays he was in there, I could see him kind of still doing this thing, like oh shit, I'm not really ready. But he just knows how to play the game, and I'm really excited for him. That because again, the plan was he wasn't gonna probably play tonight, and that's the second time that's happened. Same thing with Joe, right? In the scrimmage, kind of happened, and Will had to go in there, and a guy that maximizes reps like that, you couldn't be happier for him.